episode of Roleplay Roulette. Yay!
Yay! Spin
Spin.
that wheel.
Oh, Jacob, hello, how are you?
Da 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 da.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Da 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 da.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Da 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 da
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
da.
I don't know the song.
we're, we're,
Price
we're,
is right.
yeah.
Price is
Get it.
right.
Price is right.
Price
Yeah.
is right.
Interact.
Question.
Yes.
Question.
Question.
Do you
Answer.
ever wish you want? Do you ever wish to want to be in a game show? It's a question to everyone.
Sure.
Sure.
My mom's been on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Wow. How appropriate. Distant Suns.
Sci-fi. Flying sci.
Good thing I got this picture up.
Yep.
Sci-fi die, dipty die, the tough sci.
Alrighty, so Distant Suns. We played a little bit of it yesterday, or at least
Yeah.
an earlier period of it. So we got kind of an advanced test on it. All right, so are you guys wanting to continue the roles you played from yesterday, or do you want to
Yep.
do something completely different, someplace else in space at a different time?
Well, this is my first time doing a sci-fi
Right. So
event.
Jacob,
and,
what would you want to be? Leader, um, military
Well, for the- well,
background, or governmental agent.
can I be a starfighter pilot
A
or?
fighter pilot in particular, or you just want pilot in general?
Pilot.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Mhm.
And not to put too fine of a point on it. Are you okay with not currently having the fighter aspect, or do you want to actually still be associated with the military?
Oh,
You could be ex-military,
Or you could be like
or
guard
no.
reserve, or you could be live active fighter. I just wanted to find out
uh,
today, and it won't necessarily agencies that are in play at this point in our chronology. There is the Terran Consortium, which are the people who live on Earth. Within that consortium, there is a bit of a black ops organization known as the Syndicate, and the Syndicate seems to be at odds with the consortium's agenda. The consortium is basically about preserving Earth as the center of the Terran universe and not allowing the other human groups to outstrip them in terms of political power. The second are the Confederacy, which is those people who colonized. You either fought on the side of the Alliance, which is the consortium, which meant you fought to defend Earth's agenda, or you were fighting as a rebel, a Confederate, fighting for the freedom.
Lie in their own group.
Yeah, the Belt Worlds Alliance is when I refer to the Alliance, that's what I mean. The Belt Worlds Alliance, the Belt humans, they went out and started mining the asteroid belt, and because they were doing it on a shoestring, they used almost a separate species because they've been without gravity for so long that their bodies have started to alter to match that environment. So they tend to be thin and slender. They also tend to have more birth defect environment out there has caused them to have more freakish
We have
changes.
more standard mutations than normal.
Right, right. And
I would fit right in.
yes, exactly. So, if you are military, did you fight for the consortium, or did you fight with the colonials? First leader of the Earth First Alliance would have been, I don't know, Donald Trump, because it's hard. It's rather conservative, a little bit backwards, and only arbitrarily taps into religion.
Mm.
All right, Earth First. Alrighty. Are you okay? That actually kind of fits pretty funny. Okay. So we'll be accelerating the story forward just a little bit since we lost our previous pilot, which.
Oh, I'm the pilot.
Oh, that's right. You're the
We,
pilot.
yeah, you have Mel, and the only person we're missing is we have the professor, the other
Scott
professor, Dong
was the
Long.
telepath.
Oh yeah.
Dong,
Yeah. Don, whatever his name was. Yeah.
Don.
Don Juan.
No.
Well, no, it ended with Don Lang or something like that. Lang. It was,
The NPC Mallory still aboard as well.
Well, if we feel a bit stuck on that one, we could go through a different point in our shared history.
I think we can work it out.
Yeah.
Gene likes to hold. Alrighty, so it kind of makes sense that almost immediately after you've gotten a hold of this item, this relic that you have now discovered, that the alarms would go on, proximity alarms would go on, and the radio Terran consortium will escort you into your landing on
Okay.
the spin station.
She looks at Mel. My flea isn't exactly. Or to
I
begin,
thought this was where we were going.
Right, you're headed for Earth anyway. This is not.
but not with this on board.
Yes,
Oh,
was it?
the equivalent of diplomatic immunity. I'll put it with my stuff.
Um,
But you better go answer that radio call. I believe
Yeah.
the fighter pilot might get a little edgy and he might start shooting. So you're gonna go talk to the
Yep,
fighter
I'm
pilot?
gonna go talk. Hold your jets, boy. We're on course.
Oh, Jonathan, I'll be back in a bit. I need to grab something to eat.
Of course you do.
I grabbed something while you were talking.
Oh, that's so perfectly Jacob.
This one it says time.
that defines Jacob. He was aware that I was talking about him being the fighter pilot either. So there you go. Alrighty. So the cat would come padding out. Look at you.
Ach, my Liebchen. You give it a fish, a little herring that he has in his pocket.
It would be a red herring.
It might be.
It might be in the hinterlands as red herrings.
Yeah.
The other kind won't grow.
No. Sometimes it's all we have to sustain ourselves. It's some red herrings to continue the story
Mm-hmm.
of life, of course. Because we're just talking about food.
Of course. Well, that's where that whole mythos comes from. In fact, that 1 out of 100 herrings are born in a different color, and so therefore
Really?
find out what that was, and it's just a red herring. No, that's true. That's really where it came from. The Danish. That's a.
Wie geht's die Danish, ja?
So, you go through the docking process, which is basically planning your orbital rotation to match the penultimate outermost ring. There we go.
There was
I get
there was
that
this
word.
one. I don't remember what movie it was, but there was a movie where they spinning, it's all crazy, and then all of a sudden it just slowly stops because their motion finally matched. That was just such a
Interactive puzzle. The game Wing Commander actually had that in the Privateer episode. You had to match your speed and rotation with the gates of their space stations, and it did the same thing. You had to visually line it up, and it made no sense until you finally locked in. Until then, things all just kind of spun around you. But it's cool stuff. All right, so you pass through, and once you pass through, before the craft even goes in, maybe side. Again, although it's a flea, and fleas are not insignificant craft compared to the size of the station, they are. So these arms basically grab it and rotate it, so it's a little bit jerky for you guys, as it locks you into a position on the inner wall
Okay.
of the station.
Ach, meine Mechanicals. He
The
rushes
cat,
off
of
to
course,
his.
bolted for his basket.
The professor rushes off to his lab to secure his machines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she would have announced that there will be docking, and I will not have control of the last part. It's all mechanical, so fasten down.
All right.
But she very smoothly did her part of it.
You definitely did. You definitely did. All right.
I have made.
Once the craft is based, your intent. Are you going earthward, or are you going? Or are you just this is just what they call a slingshot?
Right?
Right.
It
So
is.
they'll take care of the cargo. That's automated. But I'm just verifying whether or not I need to position your craft to a different ring.
I have no reason to go
In the
Earth.
future, mute button so I know that you're back. Rather than
Okay.
talking over whatever's going on, because when you first
All
put
right.
on your headset, you surely had to hear that we were talking, and it's a little bone jarring to have someone talk over the top of you. So the fighter escort that assisted you in is now basically more than likely just hovering outside the station. It doesn't necessarily need to dock. But you guys are aboard the station, and so if you want to, you've got docked whatever funds are required for the parking. But that's incidental given the amount of cargo that you move back and forth.
Okay.
I need some more supplies.
Fine, you have 3 hours, no more. And that means
Name.
Yes.
she looked at you and then she laughed. You were right. It's virtually practical.
Yep.
All right. So you're doing you're doing your regular cargo such they're moving half the funds as agreed, so that you're that much closer to any perusing.
She'll go on off the ship for
Okay, so are you
2
staying?
hours.
Are you staying on the ring, or did you want to? So this ring is kind of like the internet. Like if you think about it from the airline standpoint, this is your commercial airlines or your freighter airlines docking ring, and so therefore you're not going to find any glitz and glam. You're not going to find any discounts on human. There's not going to be any duty free. That whole thing that happens.
No
on the other
duty-free
rigs.
shops.
Oh, there are, but you have to go up to the consumer deck.
Well, that's where she's gonna go. There's no reason to spend.
Find evil geniuses or us or mad scientists.
Incorporated.
Mart.
Yeah, gotcha. I would definitely get you basically what you have to wear when you're on station. It's basically kind of like an EVA suit, because the station sometimes has airlock breaches and things like that, because there's a lot of robotics and mechanicals involved, and so
He
it's gonna
shows you
be-
where all the suits are.
It has like 14 different. Instead of having one universal connection ring for data, you've got like 18 different plugs, and you got to remember which
Yeah.
one goes where. And you probably have
And he-
little jumper cables between them when you're on station.
Yeah.
And things like that.
It's probably made more out of like brass than steel or anything.
Oh,
Way too heavy and impractical.
mental picture. I'm seeing you in the diving bell uniform from Hellboy.
20,000 leagues under
Yeah,
the sea.
No, Hellboy.
Pretty close.
Hellboy, the professor.
Pretty close.
Well, especially
Thrusters on his back. He probably has like 14, and they're all angled in what looks to be a very strange way, but he actually flies far smoother than. Yeah.
Also, are you wanting to shop this ring's focus is specifically on ring traffic, so it's going to be this exotic. You'd have to go up to the commercial.
That's where she's gonna walk anyway, is up that way.
And for clarification, there's two commercial. One is up ring, which stays on this rotation, and the second one is down on the Terran ring, so it spins even faster because it actually does trajectory launches for the various cities on Earth.
Okay.
You go to the upper ring, I think.
So you're gonna stay on this same one, just move upward.
Yeah, the commercial ring
Yeah, the outer
upstairs.
ring. Right. Now there is work being done on another ring beyond. It's something that the consortium has been promising since the station was built, that they would actually have a sling ring specifically to send people out of the atmosphere. So it actually launches at a trajectory that takes you out of the solar system. But so far they haven't found any substantial places to fly to, so they haven't yet successfully created it. Nonetheless, they are still. It's one of those military slash governmental black holes where they just pump money into it, but there hasn't been any results from it. So
Okay.
you'll pass. Actually, there are several different groups of protesters that are protesting that external ring production. Some of them are claiming that workers aren't getting well protected. Others are saying that this is a waste of money that could be better used to save the poor on Earth. There's the people for the ethical treatment of animals who think that all of this should be used to preserve the species that are dying on Earth every day because of the continued.
Radiation.
They're abusing the planet.
Industry, whatever.
Yeah, those that are left are still grinding away at taking every ounce of value out of Earth, because some people think that we're going to eventually abandon Earth, and of course those that are very stridently a consortium are against that. So their protesters are arguably probably a little bit better dressed.
Wrong with you? Do you not do the social distance? You should be doing this protest online, yeah? Dark Ages fools.
Yes. The other thing to note. Okay, so when you're going downring, you got two choices. You can wait for one of the standard elevators. Now the way, because of the fact that the rings are, the elevator car stays at one spot for a period of time as the gears and whatever are holding it in place. But when that reaches its terminus, then the doors close and that one shoots along the outer ring to catch up with the nearest uplink, so to speak, to the ring above, and vice versa. So you can do it that way. And then the second one is that on the outside of each one of those, they have a large wheel that's constantly turning. So that outer wheel, you can actually basically grab one of the arms, and as long as you're holding onto the arm, you can actually ride it down to the next level. At first, it was a necessity when the elevators weren't quite useful yet. They couldn't actually use them, but they still need to get from point A to point B. The rings were already operational.
Okay.
There were the wheels, because you could literally try to leap onto one and hold your balance as it's bringing you down or whatever. It's all under gravity, but it's at about a sixth of the gravity of Earth, so it's like lunar equivalency. You're going to try to ride the wheel? Come in, Jason.
Jason?
Yes.
Answer the question. If you're doing something else while playing, you need to not do that anymore, or you need to not play with us, because I really need you to pay attention, Jason.
Since there's only three of us, you're 1/3 of what's going to be happening.
Okay.
We need 100% of your attention, so turn off the TV, stop the gameplay.
Okay.
Okay, he asked you a question. Did you hear the question?
So you can choose to ride down the elevator, and then you ride it down to the next level as a kind of a challenge, because of course that wheel is constantly moving, and therefore.
Take the elevator.
All right. How about you, Calgal?
Oh, I'm just going to jet down. I'm sorry. I thought we do all the.
These the in-station EVA suits don't have jets per se. They've got emergency stuff. Are you gonna fire those off inside, or are you just?
No. Never mind. I'll go down by the elevator. Besides that, I'll take Cat with me. Come on, Cat.
I can imagine the cat in its tiny little EVA suit too. It'd be kind of, you have to sit there for half an hour stuffing it into that smaller EVA style.
Oh, I've got a way to do it. Yeah, I have a way to do it. You know, I have an open at the other end so I can reach down it, and the whole thing accordions down. It's like a a vacuum tube with a bunch of rings on it.
It's a slinky.
Yeah, and so I push it down, and then I can take the tail and just pick up the
Nice.
end of it, pull it through, then pull it up the tail, and then it closes off.
Yeah.
Life is wonderful.
Yes. So, alrighty. So, elevator comes as you get on board. As the doors are, yeah, they have to sit for what you might think is an inordinate amount of time, but it's got to be open until the last minute before it drops down. And as you're waiting, this individual comes in. He's wearing the garb of a belter as far as his clothing. It doesn't fit him very well because he's a little overweight for the thing. Um,
Yeah,
he
we
looks
usually aren't very overweight.
right. He looks like somebody stuffed a 10-pound turkey in a 5-pound bag, and so he's bulging in all the wrong spots, and he's sweating profusely. He's got stringy black hair that it's too long. Belters almost always keep their hair close cropped because you don't want to getting caught in gearing or whatever. But this guy's hair is he's greased it down. As out in the belts, they just wear it short, and so it can go anywhere it wants, pretty much. So you don't see well-groomed hair, overused oil rag, which seems really weird. But his face is therefore smudged with some
Oil.
oil and grease, but he's also coughing
So he has to like keep opening the helmet visor and like dab, 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 shink.
through the helm,
Hmm.
and he takes the whole helm off periodically because he's got to get the hair clear of it because he keeps getting fouled in the intakes. And
Ugh.
he nods at
She nods at.
yeah he nods at you and leans against the far wall. He looks like he's not feeling well. Also, in addition to feeling uncomfortable, it clearly that he also has got something disagreeable going on inside because he keeps grabbing his midsection.
You are the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, but not saying it out loud. He has that much protocol.
Yes. The guy looks over at you guys and says, "Look, okay, clearly from the uniform and the demeanor, he can tell that 45's the actual ship's captain." So he goes, "You headed outbound soon? What are you, Firefly?"
Firefly.
No, the flea.
You're a flea.
Flea. I'm a flea.
Oh,
I'm here for a cargo run. Have another couple drop-offs.
oh, I'm looking for passage out to Io.
Not headed that way.
Not headed in the Confederacy? I don't think so. You got too nice of a uniform. I'm thinking that you're probably one step from ship ownership.
Would give off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Besides that, I think you ought to report to a medic.
I don't know. I don't know why you're saying that. That's awfully mean. You don't even know me.
You are fat, ugly, and obviously very unhealthy.
Oh,
In the
Wait.
nicest way, if you don't.
Okay, so he's got scraggly teeth, kind of like Steve Buscemi. He's not in any way. I'm Aloysius, and I'm a rather wealthy benefactor, and I really need passage to Io. I've got 10,000 that I can offer you just to allow me to board, and another 10,000 when we arrive on Io.
Can we get a bread equation?
Yes. So a house on Earth would cost a little less than 1. For Luna, you're looking at a cost of 100. If you're going to be booking passage to one of the 10,000's a lot. 10,000 with 10,000 you could basically it's half the money you need to buy the Dragonfly outright.
And then another 10,000 there. You get a clean bill of health from a doc, I'll take you.
Oh, most obliged. What's your docking location? I'll meet you there with the paperwork.
Okay, she gets.
numbering system. Sure. I'll definitely see it.
Isa Minecart.
He looks over at the professor and says, "Looks like we're going to be roommates for a spin."
No, you'll have your own room.
Ah, you
I
can
was
stay in
referring-
the latrine.
I was he looks over at you and says, "I was referring to the craft, ma'am. You know, my estate on in Nebraska is big enough that we could put all the belters there as a visit, and they'd have plenty of room. So this close quarters of being aboard a vessel is the same thing as being roommates. Didn't mean to offend. Anyways, I'll see you. 1 hour, 2 hours when you headed back.
5.
No. No, I need the money so I can get a dragonfly. We're going to be going. You better be on board at 2:30. 2.5 hours from now. No.
Link then, so I make sure I don't miss it. So he wants to link
Okay,
to,
so
link to your suit.
you can change your time to mine.
Without atmosphere, you only have like a 5-hour supply anyway. So
Okay.
they use that onboard timer to synchronize with their craft, because the craft is going to maybe moved from location to location to unload the cargo. It's like the opposite of what you would think. Instead of your craft staying still and then they wheel the cargo all over, that's impractical. So it's just easier to unlink your craft from its location, move you to another bay, dump out what needs to be dumped out, and then take it onto another bay, and so on. So you're not even sure where your craft is after you've disembarked.
Yeah.
No, all you have to do is just hold up your arm, because he's got one of the consoles on his arm as well. He just
Okay.
it's like a
Oh,
Bluetooth
get
slash
yourself a
Wi-Fi.
bath too.
Oh, most definitely. There's a great massage parlor in the red light district I like to go to. And he rubs his meaty hands together as he walks off.
When their arms touch, the professor visually gags. Not his arm. I mean, when
Yeah.
her arm and his arm touch.
Yeah, they don't actually
Is-
have to touch. You just get within a few inches of each other. It's the whole.
The-
Anyway, when he gets
Roomba
ready,
is
when he turns,
approaching.
yeah, nice. When he turns to leave, he does nod back at the professor and say, "Want to come with me? I can get it. We can get a 2-for-1 deal on the masseuse."
There's a loud retching sound. Oh,
Okay, Jason, your fighter are debriefing. They're asking you if you had any contact with any inbound belters today.
I checked through the sector a few times. There's nothing there.
You don't remember escorting
Huh?
45 Calgal and her crew?
What?
That's me.
Oh,
Don't you remember escorting her? Your
So
your,
then
atten-
tell
your
'em.
attention.
well, there's one. There was
Well,
one,
no, I
but
can.
I did escort it.
Okay, no, I'm gonna go with your first answer. No, you don't. I don't recall. And they go, this is your third warning as a fighter pilot. Why don't you take 30 days and consider your options? Because unless you're going to be much more focused on detail, we won't need you as a pilot in the station defense. All right.
okay.
You're kind of pissed off that they might
Can you?
can you just because you couldn't remember a stupid starship. I mean, getting to be a nuisance.
Yeah.
So as you're kind of grumbling along, you'll bump into a dark-haired woman in a blue suit. You're a fighter pilot, aren't you?
How can you tell?
Oh, you just have that.
Well, I just it's just there for the action for being a fighter.
Yeah, and I bet you've been defense run, haven't you? I bet this last 6 months has been hell for you.
I like that comment.
So I'll tell you what. You show me some initiative here, and I will see what I can do about getting you a much more exciting position. How's that sound?
How's it go?
So are you up for that?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, well, if it's not for you, then it's not for you. Not not
But
giving this
I'll
opportunity.
I'll consider.
Well, it's awful nice of you to consider it. Here's what you need to do. I need you to go out to the outermost ring, the one that's being worked on. I need you to find Tombs. Toombs. When you find Tombs, tell him that the mission was a success and that he needs to bring the, I guess we'll call it the Enchiridion. All right? Can you tell him that? It's a simple job.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Okay.
Why don't you tell me what it is you're going to be doing to make sure that I understand you understand what I'm asking you to do?
Find Tombs and tell
Where?
him about.
Where are you going to go to find Tombs?
Uh, oh, I'm not very well on details. It's just I
If you're not
always
good on details, what kind of a fighter pilot can you possess? And to bring the Enchiridion. That's 4 things. You got that?
Enchiridion. How you pronounce it?
Enchiridion.
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 D-I-O-N.
Yeah.
It starts with an I also. So, but yes.
Oh, Enchiridion.
Enchiridion, yes.
Enchiridion.
All right.
Enchiridion.
Good job. All right. I'll see you outer ring. And she puts out her arm to synchronize with you.
Oh.
All right. You got roughly an hour and a half to get that done. See you then.
All right.
All right. So you guys are now in the commercial area, and the place is as busy as you might expect. Businessmen, tourists, people are standing at the outside of the. There are these huge view bays. What kind of shops you wanted to visit? There's all kinds of things. There's
what's the status on aliens? Do we have aliens?
There are a few on how they may be so far away that they could never have actually come here, and that they're a construct of the minds of madmen. And of course, there's religious people that believe that God is an extraterrestrial, and he's going to one day return and take us to the rest of
for the oddity shop. I head for exactly that shop. I am as curious in hell about that canister, and she's going to see if she doesn't know what's in it, so she just goes.
So you're looking for the same kind of stuff that the professor's looking for, or are you talking about
No.
I'm
trying to find
He looks for the things
a real
that
alien.
he can tear apart and put back together to make much better.
Yeah. She's looking for a real alien artifact.
No, it glows, sings songs.
Right, exactly.
He's looking for power crystals and
the stellar version of Radio Shack you could go to for the high tech stuff.
The toys, all the toys.
So as you're going to these different shops, in particular the tech shop has a bunch of stuff and quite cool science project level stuff. So there's you can get yourself the Tesla coil and the
Jacob's ladder.
Yeah, all the cool.
Oh, I needed one of these.
Yes.
He just stocks up and gets a bunch of trinkets that he can, if not be cool, he can tear down for parts and.
Or more importantly, it'll look like you're more involved than you really are, because those things all tap energy off of the system. But
blink lights,
Yeah.
A
computer that sits in a box someplace and doesn't move. You gotta have something that convinces them that you actually have the internet, right? Like in the office, the designed to be the oversight over the IT department. And so she goes to ask one of the persons, "How do we know that the internet's running?" And he goes, "Well, we have the internet right here all the time." She goes, "What light on it?" And that's all it does. It just sits there, and the little red light goes glow, glow, glow. So as long as that's working, the internet is on. Of course, then later on, there's an episode where the light goes out because the battery dies, but she doesn't understand that, so she thinks the internet is out. It's very funny.
But I think the end of that episode is she actually takes it to has in store. It has been on loan from us, from the World Internet Confederacy, whatever.
Yes.
And
We're
this
now in charge
is the internet. It shows them the box, and then the light starts to go out or something, and then someone knocks it over, or she lifts it up and shakes it, and it falls to pieces. Then the whole room just bursts out into insanity and like screaming. They're like, "It's the apocalypse! It's the apocalypse! We're all gonna die! The internet's gone!"
We've ruined the internet.
Yeah, there's like one lady who like immediately starts kissing the two guys next to her because it's the apocalypse and she doesn't want to go out. Whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's silly. Very silly.
Very silly. The internet, it's a very silly place. All right. Take the elevator.
Elevator.
Of course. Okay, so you take the elevator up and you're on gloves and hard hats. They're looking at you kind of funny because you're in a space fighter. They got to check in with him. That's where they're headed to.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Probably not.
YMCA?
Oh yeah, no.
Construction worker, police officer.
Yeah. I know where you're going. Now. Yeah, because he is wearing the suit. Yeah, I can see that. Everybody looks around and goes, "Where's the Indian chief?" No, okay. So as you get out onto the upper level, you see them all put their helmets on. And when I said hard hats, they actually have the big EVA type helmets, because what they do is they climb into these oversized robotic suits that they're basically for enhancements, so they can do like heavy lifting, like forklift lifting in their so they can work on this really massive project. So you basically have to kick back in your space helmet because you're going into an area without any atmosphere. Now, everybody else is wearing mag boots because they basically attach to the steel plates of the main dock while they're walking around. You have no such thing on your suit, so you're feeling your weight slipping because your gravity out here is even lower than the 0.6 as usual. So you can either hold onto the handrails and look like a noob, or you can try to launch yourself off the platform towards. There's a blinking blue light. This is information on a small, for lack of a better term, it looks like a worker drone hovering about 60 yards off the station
Platform.
itself. Yeah.
I'll try to launch myself.
Alrighty, so you leap off there, and in Rocketeer fashion, you're zooming across that space, and from this vantage point, gotten started. Even though they've been on the project for the last couple of years that you're familiar with, the ring is far from complete, and they're still actually building the primary external rings from the station outward. So there are these huge claw-like arcs of steel that are being built to eventually it'll finish a ring that's roughly a third larger than the one below. As you reach the information drone, of female voice says, "Welcome to the operation in Sector 2. How may I assist you?"
I'm looking for someone by the name of Toombs.
Toombs. I have a Jeremiah Toombs on Sector 23, and I have a Jedediah Toombs just below us. Which would you prefer?
The one below us.
Very well. He gives the coordinates are tracked over to your armlet, and basically a little blinking light turns on, and she says, "Follow the green light. It will take you to Jedediah Toombs."
Okay then. Thank you.
All right. So you turn and you're going to jet back off the drone back towards the station.
Well, I'm gonna ask that. Uh, can the drone give me the coordinates for the second guy named? You said the guy Tooms, but it's a bit.
Tombs? I
Yeah.
showed two tombs in the sector. Jeremiah tombs out on.
Tooms at 223.
I gave you the coordinates as 223.
Oh. Never mind then. Thank you.
Certainly.
Now, the question is,
It's the one that's below us, the 2.
They're
Did
both
he ask
tombs.
what way the last name was spelled? Because the lady told him how the last name was spelled.
Yes.
First one, the Jeremiah.
T-O-O-M-B-S.
MBS.
Thanks for leading the witness there, Travis. Yes. There are two tombs. So Jeremiah and Jedediah actually have they're both spelled T-O-O-M-B-S.
Oh yeah.
Anything else you want to ask?
And no.
Okay, so this is where your personal your thought process is coming to this, Jason. You know you're supposed to talk to a person named Toombs. You know you're supposed to be telling him that a mission is successful and that he's supposed to have something called the Enchiridion, right? Turn between the two of them. Which one is the one you probably need to go see? Because remember, you only have a limited amount of time. You might be able to see them both, but you might not.
Maybe what's the first guy? Well, I know
the first guy is close
Toombs,
by.
but
That's all you know. The first guy is close by.
Literally just below you.
Second guy is
I'm
further
I'm thinking
out.
the one that's.
But what do you?
I think the Toombs that's further out because
Why?
I believe is trying to try to keep it secretive. I think away from
The person who the person who bumped into you was offering you a job and said that I'll give you this job. He figured you would know which one is which. What question could you ask to find out which one, say, might be the one you're looking for? What information do you think you have that you could use? What information do you think you're?
well, and let's see how they respond.
Right, but I'm asking how do you know which one? I'm just trying to help you work through the process of determining which one is most likely. What could you ask?
Well, I really can't say about the Enchiridion.
Right, you're right. That was well done. That you don't want to mention Enchiridion because you know that.
Okay, well, she said outer ring.
Didn't they say something about his occupation?
No, it was just he worked on it would be on the outer ring. That's what I remember.
Yeah, okay.
That he was in charge.
And if you find out from the two of them which job most likely sounds like somebody that might be your contact. Or heaven forbid, you could actually contact the person that you have contact with because she gave you data on your armlet. You could ask to contact her and possibly get communication with her to ask her which one. You don't have to make a personal.
I'll hit his drone and ask about the two tombs, but positions of their job.
He's working one of the main lifts. And Jedediah down below us, well, he's in the union headquarters because he currently isn't employed. Number 223 is represented by its cardinal position reference to 360-degree arc. So each arc is 90 degrees. So 90, 180. 270, 360. Which?
Oh,
So it goes
I,
0 to 90, 90 to 180, 180 to 270, 270 to 300,
360.
360.
so 90.
Teaching you
Let's
math
see,
here. Teaching you math
91.
here. A circle is made up of 360 degrees internal arcs.
Yeah. So yes,
Right now.
He's at 0, 0.
the fastest way to go there is to go the
So take the opposite route to.
Yeah. So you basically walk counterclockwise. Okay. So sector by sector around,
All right.
because you don't want to walk it. It's miles.
All right.
Um,
I'll use it.
Okay, so we'll come back to you. All right, so Calgal, you get into one of these.
Jerky?
Yeah, I got the alien jerky.
Oh, I love the alien jerky.
Got the helmet bobs that you can put on there, so you got the little dangly eyeball and antenna, like a mohawk.
Do they have the ancient records of the Men in Black?
No, but they have Men in Black 1, 2, and 3 as a video combo you can get.
Oh, nice.
It's a relic, old. And and Russia's 2112. What are you looking for, ma'am?
interesting, not in relics of Earth, but any other things that come in from the belt or
Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't a joke. Relics from the belt. Yeah, that's like saying toothpaste. I'm sorry, lipstick for an elephant. There's nothing out there but broken rocks, don't you know? No offense to you, you're a pilot, but at least you got the smarter job. You get to visit civilization half the year.
she just continues looking around.
He goes, "Oh, I didn't look. I didn't mean to offend. That was probably rude of me. But what in particular are you looking for?"
Oddities, things of unknown origin.
Oh, well, I've got somebody left something in the microwave a couple days ago. I don't know whose that is. Maybe that's.
Wait, if I may, mein Freund. He's gonna sidle up to the counter and go, We both knows you have the real stuff in the back, yeah?
He looks at you kind of funny. Says, "Well, yeah, but you're belter too.
Am I?
They can smell it on you."
I know not what you mean. I only research in the belt because the limitations are less there.
Yes, you're able to do your freakish experiments on them all you
And
want.
unless you wish to be one, you might tell us what is in the back. Yeah?
He turns back to what was your character's name yesterday? Because the 45 Cal Gal's not your character's name.
Left. I'm trying to remember.
Akarov.
That's
Akarov.
right. Akarov. That's right. Yes.
Can't remember my first name. I'll get it.
Titania.
Titania with two
Titania.
N's. Yeah, you spelled it with two N's. That's how I remember.
I was thinking of starting to call you Tit, but I don't think that'd be appropriate.
No. Tanya would be okay.
Okay, Tit.
Tanya
Sorry, I had to try it once.
Yeah. It doesn't fit.
Acker off. Thank you. Titania Acker. Well, I erased all Titania to get Acker. Oh, cute. Titania
Very interesting, yeah?
Acker. Titania.
I feel like the professor is one of those really goofy characters, but then when he wants to be really intimidating, he's just enough insane for it to be kind of
Unstable.
Acker.
You're unstable.
well, he has the appearance of being unstable.
Right. But then you can shut it off, and that's the disturbing part is how much of
Okay.
it's an act and how much of it is you really are that psycho.
Exactly.
He goes, Miss Akaroff, I'll be honest with you. I'm a purveyor of oddities and cheap stuff for the tourists. If you're looking for if you're looking for anybody who's actually doing any sincere work, you probably want to talk to. He looks around a little bit first. He says, "Syndicate operations offices are on the innermost ring. That's usually used for lunar and sublunar missions. You might want to check there."
Thank you very much. You're very helpful.
He looks at you and says, "Do something with that hair, please."
What hair? I have hair?
Look into that picture. It's wild. It's just standing up in all directions. And out here,
I just assume that it looks crazy, but it's actually trimmed to be the perfect inner circumference of the helmet so that it cushions everywhere.
Right. You have a rational reason for it looking as crazy as it does, right? But when you take the helmet off, it just stands out on ends like your hair that normally is against your head is doing this fro-like thing sticking up in all directions.
Yeah.
Kind of Einsteinian looking.
Yes, mein uncle.
On my mother's side.
Yeah. All right. So you've now got instructions. That'll make your time a little, cut your time a little close because you're going to be going down to the slowest ring to do that. So do you want to do that, or are you going to?
No.
Could we speed up the time by making a more prudent route of the wheels?
Yes, you could take the wheels, and of course the wheels would be much slower, so even the professor might be able to navigate them.
Yes, so even the very well. Being
We'll clip
punctual
him
is
on
more
for her.
important than being safe.
Just about, she'll clip him onto hers, give him about 15-foot slack, so she can make sure he comes to the right direction.
Well, you're only dropping it at less than a sixth of a gravity, so he's not going to hurt himself anyway. I mean, he might end up with a bent, broken bone or a strained wrist or something, but he should be fine.
You know not the limitations of mine suit.
That's true.
Okay, let's drop.
Okay. As you're dropping inward, Jason, you've arrived in sector 223. There are probably a half dozen guys operating welders and lifters, and at the top of the pinnacle of one of the spires, you see an oversized suit. It dwarfs the others by a third, and it's holding an entire panel. It's basically a quarter mile in length, this metal band, and he's positioning it from that upper position so that others can start welding. As he lines it all up, you hear him say, that should do, Jer. That should be good. Hold on to that right there." And Jer goes, "Roger." Guy turns and looks at you and goes, "What are you doing up here? This is a work zone. Where's your hard helmet? What are you doing?"
Are you by chance Tombs?
Nah. He gives a thumb up to the guy up there in the exosuit holding the panel. He says, "That's Jer up there. Crazy coot. What are you doing? What you need him for? He's this is still work schedule. He won't be off till lunch break."
I have a poor message for him.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not yet lunch break. So you're gonna need to back up and either that or you need to go find yourself a hard hat because you can't be up here. It's not safe.
So find a okay. All right then. Guess I need to find a hard hat. Well, I just spoke to myself.
Yeah, that's okay. You're mumbling to yourself as you step back, and you see basically there's a changing area just outside of the bathrooms that has racks of people's personal gear, and there are several different hard hats on the walls, and each one of them has the owner's name across the forehead underneath the brim of the hard hat that's built into the helmet.
Well, looks like there's no any extras.
There aren't any that are not marked. That's true.
It is an important message, though. So
I just pick one and go. That fits you.
or just ignore it and.
Or you could try to you go back and ask the guy where to get a hard helmet because you didn't think to do that when you talked to him a minute ago.
Oh,
Well, he only has an hour and 30 minutes, so.
Yeah.
all right. I'll ask the guy. Is it? Excuse me. I
Yeah. What do
checked.
you need now? You still haven't got a helmet. What's going on?
Do you know there's any extra hard helmets? The ones that are
Oh,
they're already owned by
the consortium offers them down in the consortium offices downring from here, but there's also you can purchase one from the commissary. That's over on 250, or gosh, I don't know what else you could do, but that's a couple things I could think of right off the top of my head.
Is it okay to borrow the helmets? I'll bring them back in good condition. I promise.
Borrow? Where would you borrow the helmets from?
The rack from the rack over there.
Well, they're private property, but suppose if you're not going to spit in them or lick the frame, as long as you clean it out when you're back.
All right. Can you notify the person if I take the help?
No, I'm not. I'm not your babysitter, and I'm not. That's not my job. I got other things to take care of. I got to keep an eye on what Jerry's up to up there. I want to make sure that they got that armature gets into place. Otherwise, we'll be doing this tomorrow again.
All right then. Thank you. I'll grab the hard helmet from the rack.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me, just for the fun of it. Don't need it for anything. Just
D6.
Yep. Where everything's made up and the dice don't mean anything.
2.
2. All right. You grabbed one that says Fifi across the front.
Fifi.
Well, I'm on limited time, so there's.
Yep. And give it that little quarter turn to lock it into place, and now you've got Fifi's helmet on.
All right.
It smells like burritos and beer inside.
Oh, Fifi, why? Fifi, take care of yourself better than that.
There's no time to be picky. I had to head to the office.
That's right. To the office?
No, up to the guy.
He's holding on to it. There you can see people welding all along the line. There must be probably 40 different people welding at basically about the same time. How are you?
This is like low gravity, right?
Yeah. So, are you going? How are you going to reach him? Are you going to attach a line and a mile up? You can do it with a running start, so to speak.
All right.
You gonna attach a line, or are you just gonna go freelance?
Freelance.
Alrighty, you are a gutsy son of a buck. Okay, so you take a two or three running step and start jettisoning yourself across that space. Of course, as soon as you take off running, the guy on the ground that you were talking to sees you and starts to shout at you. You're 3 steps into it. You see him waving his arms like a madman, and you're leaping across and in this mega suit, holding on to the armature. As you're approaching him, you realize you're probably. What are you going to do?
I'll try to grab it. Grab the arm.
So you're starting to flail, because he's, like I said, he's literally looking.
Oh.
So as you're flying towards him, you see his head turn and he looks down at you and he's shaking his head. Now, granted, it's a big suit. What are you going to do? You could see that you're going to miss unless he reaches out to grab you.
Is there can I flap my arms too?
You can flap your arms. Yes, you're now flapping your arms like a bird. It has having no effect on trajectory, except that it's now putting you into a spin.
Is there anything on his suit you can use?
Yeah, he could actually use his emergency jettison. It gives him 3 seconds of burn in any direction he wants.
I'll use it.
And where are you using it to aim for? Are you aiming towards him, or are you aiming towards the station?
Towards him.
Alrighty. So you time it. You time your rotation. Hit the jets. You're now moving towards him at probably about 10, 12 mile an hour when the burn stops. And you're clearly going to hit him, but now his head is shaking his head as you come slamming into him. When you hit him, he has to adjust his position. When he adjusts his position, the entire structure wobbles. That's not really a problem at this distance, but at the ends where people are welding, two of them, but the other one now is spinning out into space. The only reason why he's safe is that he's at the end of a welding line, so it runs out to the extent of the cabling, and he pulls himself back. Down below, the foreman that was waving at you earlier is now got his hand to the side of his head, and he's clearly talking on comms with somebody. So you come in contact with Jerry, and so you contact with him. Now you can talk to him because your suits are connected. And he goes, "What the are you doing up here? Who the hell are you? What are you doing? This is a busy site. What the you're going to cost us? This is horrible."
Are you Toombs?
You know the fact I'm Toombs. It said right there on my uniform. You just slammed into me in the chest. It says Jerry Toombs. What's going on?
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Well, I have
Sorry. You're a flyboy.
I got a
okay.
message for you.
What?
He's got a message for you.
I'm listening.
Well, the person said that the mission was successful.
What mission? What person?
I don't think
what
she ever
I-
gave a name.
Yeah.
You could describe her, though. She was wearing a very particular suit.
Know what she looked like?
She wears a blue suit, and with wait. I remember. I still had the contact with her on
Okay,
the.
good point. So you go, wait. You click on it. So who is this? Who is this?
Is that her?
Yeah, that's her.
This is Jason.
Stop. You looked at your arm. You have comms, so you can look down and see her name. You don't even have to call her. I'm not saying that you called her. I'm saying you looked
Okay,
you looked down and you saw her name.
The name?
Yes.
That
So now tell Jerry what her name is.
Mallory.
M with an M. M-A-L. Mallory. Akron.
Mallory Akron.
Okay. So what did Mal have to say?
The mission was successful.
Oh, good. Then that's it. You came all the way up here to tell me the mission succeeded.
There was another
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh well, there's also this thing, something about a Incuridium. Well, that's the 4 details that she told me that I need to focus on. The
Say them out. What are the 4 details?
fine tune in the outer rings, and I need to tell you that the mission was successful, and I forgot something about Incuridium.
Something about. All right. Tell her that I know about the Incuridian. It's in my possession, and hope to hear from her soon.
He's supposed.
To me. Sorry.
Well, he says, "Well, I don't have it with me. I'm in the middle of my job. My break comes up in 20 minutes, but I think it's probably going to come earlier because I can see that the welds are breaking below." You're a flyboy for the Confederate for the consortium.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you will be for long, but thanks. Yeah, my ears are screeching from everybody shouting at me. Yeah. He flips over the other switch. Last thing you hear is him going, yeah. Hold on, I'm a coming. Okay, so now that you've finished, what do you do?
I'll head to the nearest station.
Nearest station. He points down.
I'll head down.
Are you climbing down the arc, the piece of metal that they're working, or are you going to just
Yes.
jump and trajectorize all the different crews that were welding that you interrupted and stuff like that? And so you're getting all kinds of stares and glares, and a couple of them make sure they catch the name off your uniform, make sure they know who you are, so that they can.
Fifi, yeah.
Well, it's Fifi, but his name
I wouldn't
should have his last name on it as well. So they're going to be looking for Fifi Prudhomme or whatever.
I kind of feel bad.
Okay.
You should probably get your helmet back.
You probably
Yeah.
want to go back and interfere with what's going on.
All right.
Put the helmet back.
Probably
Yes.
get the hell out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you leave, the overseer will come over and basically have you sign a release, given the fact that you interfered with work, and so they can dock the time appropriately.
Don't sign
Alright.
shit. Just,
I don't want my last name to be exactly like Acheron, so I'm going to call her Zakharoff.
No, you leave it the way it is. Acheron was chosen specifically for a different reason. It was a happy coincidence that I noticed that you have yours spelled this way, but Acheron is ACH, so you're not even the same. ACHERON.
Okay.
Right. Well, before I sign it, I just use a
Uniform slick. You came here in your fighter suit.
you could sign Fifi.
You could sign it Fifi, but it's gonna have your last name.
all right.
Yes, the name Acheron actually means river of woe.
Thank you.
You're implicitly now.
All right, so Jason's avoiding people's him up there because, of course, they video every damn thing in outer space. So they show him leaping through space and smashing into the suit and blah blah blah. So they zoom in a little bit so you can see him with the Fifi helmet on.
Or Fifi.
Poor Fifi.
Well, she did get her screen time, though. Maybe she'll find somebody out of it.
That's it.
Hey, I saw you on the news. You were really brave. Yeah, thanks. That's what I imagine Fifi sounds.
Yep, you're
Going to the Syndicate looking for alien artifacts.
All right. So you get to the Syndicate office, and it's just a little tiny place. And the Syndicate looks like a newspaper front. So it's actually like a small print facility is what it looks like.
This isn't the right place. It can't be.
I think this is. Never judge
Okay.
things on their appearances.
I'm sorry. I'm Throckmorton P.
Alien artifacts, not a newspaper. I'm sorry. You know of an alien artifact?
Any?
Do I know an alien artifact?
I've been known to be called an alien artifact.
Yeah, sure, Professor. The problem is you're not as old as artifacts are.
Oh,
Close.
Says you. You have no idea how old I am.
Okay.
No,
true.
we are basically. You actually, once you see the sign on the outside, you remember seeing the Syndicate. It is a local newspaper rag along the lines of Weekly World News or National Enquirer. They're basically the same thing as Coast to Coast AM.
In
We
the night hours.
They are the heir apparent to the George Norrie,
Yeah.
Art Bell crowd.
Tradition.
The professor's gonna lean into the editor, Throgmorton, and say, "We are friends of the Mallard."
Really? I didn't know she'd picked up that moniker, but that actually kind of fits. The Mallard. I like that.
Aha, ha, 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 you'll see. Yeah. Very smart you are.
Yes, and I haven't seen her in a while, but I hope her missions are going well. We
are turning the egg to the nest. In the outer nest. of the nest.
Okay. He looks at you a little bit and says, "Okay, you're not really good at the spy business." So,
I've always wanted to try, though.
good thing we're in a safe place. That's not working for me. So probably best if you stay with the cover. Surprised to see you, given the fact that you just recently met our associates. So what can I do for you?
I I had an interesting encounter with something.
Yes. She brought it aboard for you, no doubt. She probably
Yeah.
lets you see it, right?
Yeah.
No, she didn't let me see it. She
Oh.
let me
Well,
touch.
just tell her that Throck said it's okay. It'll be fine. I mean, what harm can it do? You're already liable for exporting contraband, and potentially national security, and perhaps even treason. But it depends on how you
Well,
look at it.
other than that, my life has not been complicated.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Thank you. No, I
Just
have.
tell him what you came for.
I want to see if you have anything else in that vein.
Good God, why would I do? You already have the one critical piece that we have to work with. You need to get it out of the sector. The fact that you came here means you're on video of all kinds. So you've now
Okay, we went
verified.
to Radio Shack first. It's a whole cover.
Oh yeah, well you realize that's still run by the Central Intelligence Agencies of Earth.
Mm-hmm. They make lovely desk toys.
Yes, they do. I especially like that bird that drinks the water. Isn't that
I'll
cool?
tell you what.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
give me a couple back subscriptions of your paper? I will pay you for them, and my business is done.
Sure, but as far as
I have to.
yeah,
I have a cat. I have a cat, and I need to.
yes, the
Yeah.
reprocessor on your ship, because you know.
Not on a flea.
I made the anti-gravity box for it, so that's a...
So the sand stays down.
No,
yeah.
that explains why there's all that poo floating around in the station when you get back. When you get back to the fleet, it's going to be spattered with cat poo.
So,
Who
okay.
turns off the litter box?
So
Never
if
turn off the
actually,
litter box.
if you have a step for the litter box.
Well, and he'll send a Roomba with you, so Roomba can carry it for you.
Oh, thank you.
Basically, a little mecha that just gravitationally is attached to the ground and follow you wherever.
Yeah, and carry it all.
Yep.
Thank
Well,
you.
Mr. Throgmorton, it was lovely to meet you. And he's going to reach out his hand, shake his hand, and then lean in really close. The albatross will return home in the winter. And he has a little giggle to himself and then walks out.
You're like, mission accomplished, I'm a super spy. And she's looking at you like, what the hell?
Yep.
Actually, what's really funny is I can imagine that you probably didn't recognize him immediately, but you've probably seen Throckmorton because he owned that kind of
The
thing.
only other weakness I have is for candy. And she's going to stop off and buy a bag.
Yeah,
of
can we go
candy.
by a duty-free store? Because you said that they were on the higher
They
levels.
are. Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes, you can go pick up on the lower levels. But yeah, you can definitely pick up the duty free here.
Okay, we take the elevator. Keep it simple.
Yep.
Picking up some bottles of the good stuff. I mean milk.
I pick up some assorted German chocolate.
Nice. Shopping, you'll see on the monitors the fighter pilot and Fifi and all of that being escorted
Huh.
away from the work site.
Fifi. What's a...
Jason's last name.
Pax.
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 That name's short enough that Titania's going to remember it from being the fighter pilot that escorted you guys in. It was on the side of his craft.
Oh, he has a stuffy nose. Don't deviate from your course.
Yeah, exactly.
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, was that him?
Well, Pax. You guys see that name floating around everywhere?
How many fighter pilots do you know named Pax?
I don't know. I really don't pay attention to names.
That's okay. We'll probably never see him again. I'm outbounded.
Yeah, I'm sure it was
in about an hour.
strange coincidences his
Right.
life made.
So you guys take the two. They take the. It takes you on up to 3.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go find some other
He's
stuff.
carrying like an
Let's go take a look and see what's duty free, and maybe something I can make money on.
We already passed it. We're on the way.
But I assume that you did go shopping. So whatever chocolate, good.
Yeah,
good.
I
German
bought chocolates and hard candy, and licorice and toffees and wow.
There's a little stuffed mousey.
Oh, well that
Something to
lasts
put
about.
with.
No, you have to let him catch it sometime. Don't
Oh,
frustrate him
eventually.
like
That's
that.
why I had to get a new one.
He knows he's been played with, and if he
We have a
already
relationship.
knew,
He trusts. He trusts.
Yes.
I give him the herring.
Yes.
ah,
So I can just see that.
I did stock up on herrings as well.
The cat in the spacesuit with the fish in its teeth. That I could just visually see that, especially the Norwegian with that big ruff of fur sticking out from around where the helmet would go because he doesn't wear the helmet. Just trotting along with that. Same.
keeps his mouth busy. That way he won't take snacks here and there.
Yeah, you're. By the way, you're positioned at 327 now.
Okay.
After they've finished unloading and reloading.
He hops out.
By the way, they say you do have opportunity to take a deadlift if you want.
What is it?
Okay, so what that means on a deadlift is once you jettison, you'll actually swing back by Luna and pick up a cargo container that'll be basically launched into position. Then you have to position your craft to catch it.
Okay.
They take care of the velocity
Logistics.
lift. Yep. Well, they get the velocity lift off of the surface of Luna, so it's already moving at roughly 3/4 of your speed. So you just have to modify your trajectory and then rotate. You literally, as you come into contact with it, you actually rotate the craft so that your main directional velocity doesn't change, but your rotational velocity decelerates to catch the container.
Yeah.
So you actually then spin on your way out, carrying it.
Yahoo!
Yeah, think of it as it's kind of like the
Nothing she hasn't done.
It's like this. Yeah, it's like the space equivalent of a cable toss. You got to run up, grab the log, and then toss it. So, in this case, you're going to grab it and carry it along with you.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah.
And
So when he gets in, he's gonna load his junk into the lab, store it away,
and that's when you realize that the switch on the anti-gravity cat box was backwards.
Ah, Scheisse. Literally,
Exactly.
lots of Scheisse. He uses the gravity laser pointer to guide.
Not only
each
that,
one back into the box.
not only that, it's actually successfully made the entire craft smell like cat box because all the litter would catch against the air collector.
Oh my God!
Well, it smells better than our other passengers, so.
Yeah, let's get this cleaned up.
Totally see Cat trotting in and this look of glee on her face because it's like, yes, I'm home.
You know, there's a better way to deal with this. He's gonna go down, strap down everything because there's probably a secured place for everything on the ship, and then just vent the atmosphere. Just let it all get sucked out really quick.
Recycle that, Mo? Yeah.
Yeah, just
tell everybody first.
Yeah, they need a helmet on, or
yeah, put the helmet on. I'm venting the Scheisse.
Okay, so when you get there, by the way, Mal was actually lounging against the side of the craft, leaning against the craft at like this impossible angle because gravity's relative at that 0.6. Like nothing.
I have a joke because we might not get there in this episode, but what he's going to do is he's going to wait for them to pick up the package from the moon and then vent it then, because right over the moon. Ha 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 ha.
oh come on, you got to do something about this air now.
Wouldn't that be a moonshite? Ah!
Ha 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 ha. Yes.
You.
Cat's happy.
So now he'll.
Anyway,
he'll
Mal says, "Hey, we're still down a crewman, aren't we?"
1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
There's only one crew on a fleet. That's me. The others
1, 2,
were.
3.
Oh, I consider us. She punches you in the shoulder. Oh, I kind of consider us all to be the same crew now.
Apparently,
You're missing
I have
somebody.
been tarred with your brush.
Yeah, you're missing your seer, your
Uh,
listener.
I don't see him.
Aha! So I've taken the liberty of picking us up another crewman.
what?
That is much of a liberty.
Without asking me?
She shrugs her shoulders. About this time, when you got back to your quarters, there was a notice. You've been separated from the Corps for the best of the Corps. You did get an honorable discharge, but they are not going to be recommending you for.
Hello, Fifi.
You mean that one that went through the debacle this afternoon?
Yeah.
You got the wrong guy.
Oh no, I do not. You are the Fifi.
Mallory takes one look at you and says, "No, you how'd it go? I saw you got a chance to talk to him." She laughs.
That happened.
Yes, assaulting a station worker.
You have a way of enforcing your helpers to help, yeah, Mrs. Mallard. Fellow. Tubby fellow.
Oh,
No, this is not.
Rosenheimer.
yeah, on his little Roomba behind him, you can see he's been to the pharmacy. He must have like 20 different medications in there. It almost looks like it says Minnie Mouse.
Is it grease stained?
Yes, spattered, oil spattered. There's a ring on the corner of it where that's had a
She goes up
drink
to
on
the
top of
comm unit and
I
says
think
she clarifies who this person is.
it. And who do you think him to be? You remember his
No.
name? You remember his name?
No, I'm talking to him or her.
Well, she just went off shift, but in 8 hours you can talk to her.
8 hours.
Sarah,
doesn't
an
mean
8
no, but
Are you a patient?
I am about to take somebody on board my ship. I had questioned his health and the
while you're on your phone, could you ask for a prescription of Ritalin? I'm running low.
that
Alright.
you need to contact the doctor for.
No, I just assumed that they will sign any paper there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
No, I assure you that paperwork's good. He's still pointing at it, saying, "See, I told you. I went and got it. It's fine."
Okay, you will be confined to your cabin and all your meals brought to you. I cannot.
Quarantined, yeah. Socially distance yourself. Post haste.
Other than that,
Okay.
I know his name.
I
I
will
remember his
give
name.
you
His name
every
was COVID.
possible comfort
His,
that this ship provides on our trip.
his name was Aloysius COVID.
Aloysius what?
COVID.
19. The 19th of his name.
Yes. Anyway, he says, "Okay, I'll put my mouth."
Yellow side out.
It's okay, I don't think he's breathing through his nose anytime soon.
So he
Don Lang's quarters.
No. That's Donny Boys. He goes down in Zibololo.
Okay, she'll take him down below. I have to put him there. I only have 4 cabins.
well, but Wang's not on board or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Jason's now. He's at least clean.
nice.
Yeah, we've got a problem.
Aloysius, I need to go. I need to be there. So if I have to sit in the exosuit, I'll do that.
I'll tell you what, you can.
Besides that, the good news is that your exosuit has bio waste recycling.
Mallory, if you'll go ahead and bunk with me, then I can give the guys each a room.
Mallory is. Oh, I'd be glad to.
Okay, thank you. That solves that.
Is this, do we have an incinerator on the flea?
You do
We
have a.
jettisoned.
You do have a. You do have a bio waste recycler.
He could live in that.
No,
No.
thank you. I've got it settled. Mallory and I can put up with each other.
Mallory smiles. That's so good. We're gonna become such close friends. It'll be like a sleepover. Yeah.
And you'll do the makeup and play the bottle of the
What?
spinning.
What's asleep?
Um,
You have no idea what you're missing.
And you will talk about the boys you love. Yeah. Sounds like Udusa fun. Let us away now,
We
yeah?
will make this work.
It is
I'm
0
on my way.
hour.
Yeah. She
Yep.
does a safety check on everything, make sure everything's locked, latched, battened down, nothing's loose.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Acknowledge acceptance of one of the cargoes. No, that's the other one.
That's another one that I'm taking on. Okay, she will sign for it.
That's one your standard loads. It's just whenever a load of medicines goes from Terra, they have to release
track
it.
of it.
They have to release it and give.
It's like, my prescription is here.
Okay, she to fly, going through all her preparations,
So
and
so,
then
so Mallory goes back over to Jason and says, "So you got it?
no, but he's gonna give it to me after his shift is done.
When's his shift end? We've got to leave in less than 20 minutes."
About 20 minutes ago.
I should be hanging. Yeah, I should go to him now.
no, just stay here. Does he know where you are?
No.
Oh, God. I have another load waiting me at Luna that's timed. Can you
Can we
contact
check
them?
the cargo? Is there something waiting for us in the cargo?
Yeah, I don't see anything on the manifest or anything like that. Then Mallory looks kind of ghost white and turns to Titania and said, "Did you check the port bay?" No. I mean, did you check it?
No, I have not checked it. So she goes over and checks it.
Yep, there's a book, if you will. It's probably 6 inches thick, leather
Made
bound.
of paper?
Yes, leather bound. No, it's not made of paper. It's made of parchment. So they're thick vellum sheets, and it's got a locking
Was ist
mechanism.
das?
Okay, she locks you outside. She doesn't.
Es ist eine Altenbuche.
Yeah, this is richtig. It is right in German.
Yeah, I know.
I called it an ancient book.
Yep, I got that too.
When she picks it up, she's not trying to read it. She doesn't want to fall down flat on her face.
I think it's Professor's turn to interact when that time comes. He'll keep it in his lockups.
Mallory,
It said to make sure he had access to it. About this time, your countdown's kicking in that you got 10 minutes before launch.
10, 9, 8,
she goes running
Sieben.
up to the thing.
2, 1,
Yeah. And
0.
and once again, kick in the pants, and you guys are taking off.
Lift auf.
Mallory turns to Jason. What did I tell you to do?
Careful and bring
He's-
the Incaridium.
He's reading the list off of the marker that he wrote it on his arm.
Right. And he gets to the part where it says something about the Incaridian. I think you only wrote the message as Incaridian. I don't think you said what you're supposed to do with it. Because I believe you didn't say give it to you or bring it here. But all right, we've got the Incaridian, and that's 2 artifacts together. That what could possibly?
Most of my friends had trouble when I was in the fighter corps.
I can imagine that you had
They-
quite a
they-
few problems when you were in the fighter. Doomed, right?
Or like, please stop shooting me, I'm on your side.
No,
Or-
they had problems
or
because they said
stop
that
pulling the
sentence
trigger,
You
you-
just said.
Stop pulling the trigger. Your weapon's hot. Things like that.
Don't shoot the allies.
No, it's the sentence you two just said. What could go wrong?
Oh
There's-
yeah,
there's-
yeah. Don't fly too close to the sun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what else could go wrong?
He goes over to Jason and starts taking his
Stop
customary
saying
measurements
that.
and measuring between his eyes
Nice.
and the head
Nice.
space. And
Physiognomy doesn't really work.
ha 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 ha! Shows how much you know. Ha ha ha. Okay.
Oh man, I can't believe that was actually a science for a while. Cracks me up.
Yeah.
This is the 11.5 brain case.
Right, right. But I'm just saying that trope of being a German scientist who's doing it.
Types far and wide.
I know there's a little bit of Einstein and a little bit of Mengele. That's a little weird combination, but okay.
He is what he is.
Him, psychologist. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you saying? You were saying something.
I
No, Himmler was an accountant.
was an accountant. Who was it else was it? There's Mengele. There's Himmler.
Hess.
Hess.
Rudolf Hess.
Okay.
There's another one too. He was the darker side. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I'm not a Nazi. I promise.
Yes. We have to be able to shoot Nazis anyway because I've recently watched Iron Sky again. That's such a horrible black comedy B film. So it feels like Mars Attacks, but the idea is that they've been building a secret Nazi base on the far side of the moon.
Ah.
Very, very silly, very campy. Lots of women in tight clothing that make no sense. Lots of
Yeah, absolutely.
lots of brown shirts with Dominion from the skies or whatever as the Nazis are coming back to Earth. It's awful.
Great.
Okay. Well, anyway, we
So we go to the Luna.
Yep. As you expected, you see the canister moving into position, and
We vent our cargo as we pick up new cargo.
yeah. Well, you no direction now.
yeah, it has grappling arms on it too.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
So as you're making the connections or whatever, Jason happens to be looking out over the corner over your shoulder, unless somebody's actually following you. He's used to checking the six. So as you're busy, if you will, it's a possibility that it's just a gravitic echo of where you were in the past, but it also could be another craft. Because of the fact that you spun on your route is the only way you're able to catch it. Because if you're moving straight ahead, something behind you that's moving inertly would not be visible. But once you move off of your trajectory by rotating, you put yourself that 1 or 2 degrees off. Just like before when you did the spin to get the signal from the laser, it's the same kind of a thing. You just have to get.
So Jason sees that we're being followed.
Yes.
Okay.
So what does Jason?
Jason sees that we're being followed.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you do about that information?
Where are you two at? In Dutch, yeah.
Construction is such that there are 4 individual quarters: port, starboard, forward, aft. You've been staying in one of those. Below that is cargo. To the forward of that is the command module, which is where.
In other words, we're living on top of each other. You come out of your room, and you can probably hear and see everybody.
Right, literally, when you're sitting up here, because when you're doing this maneuver, everybody's got to be strapped in. So you're literally strapped in a chair, maybe 10 feet from everybody else.
Hey guys, I think we're being followed.
Huh?
All of it.
Where? What?
There's a.
I see. It is a secret organization that has been passed down the centuries. It is the only internal German resistance movement that still exists.
Mainly because it didn't do anything useful, and it didn't even work for Ivan the Terrible.
See, but that's the point. Is that we may have been forced. Yeah.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyways, we see nothing. Where is this thing you see?
Uh,
Mallory reaches over and flips the switch, basically rewinds the. It's only there for about the 6 seconds that it took for you to rotate, and then it vanishes again.
Is it recognizable?
No, since all you're picking up is the inert ping, it's just going to be a shape.
You have very sharp eyes, monkey boy.
Who you're calling monkey?
The one who climbed on somebody else and jumped around ridiculously.
I was under rush time.
Okay, Fifi.
It's just I kind of.
I'm afraid you
that.
kind of earned yourself a
helmet.
nickname.
Very well. Okay, so what color is this one of yours?
She shrugs her shoulders and says, no, we're good. We're on mission as far as I know. The only thing I can think of is maybe we picked up a consortium tail of some sort.
Aye, but don't you have the mind thing that you do with the little chip on the back of your head?
Well, I've got the comm. How do you know about that?
I saw it.
I was measuring your head.
No, when you
yes,
first came on,
I know. I have an appliance, and you're more than likely familiar with the laser pickup. I do also have a linguistics program that allows me to instantaneously translate, so I can speak with other people that don't speak my language. And I have a third one that is data storage, which I don't have any real need to use right now. And I don't know what my fourth one does.
I have several myself, but not so obvious.
Yes, and I saw your helmet you wear on the outside. It looks very funny. You look like Christopher Lloyd.
Haha, yes. Yes.
Come in, Marty! I've discovered something important!
He does have a similar scar on his forehead as if a clock has struck him many times. While on the bathtub. Toilet. The water closet.
You're not going to be losing them with this cargo because the amount of mass, you'd have to change course considerably to, like I said,
I don't think we have any choice.
Nope, we'll have to go to where we're gonna
Wait.
go.
I have a way. Are they cloaked, yeah?
No.
Oh. Do we have a back window?
No, not really.
No, you could go into the back and step into the airlock and look out through the window. But it's just a
Yeah,
little
that's
window
about it.
in the airlock door.
I will make the feigning of the emptying the litter box. And I will use my graph boots to stay, and while I empty the litter box, as I do, out of the back airlock, I will see what is seen. And see if the scheisse makes them more visible, or at least annoys them.
I don't think there's quite enough, and once you throw it out, it's gonna disperse.
Never underestimate the power of scheisse well placed.
Yes, and,
Okay.
it's not like there are.
Remember,
there are no air currents to move the stuff around, so no.
you lock the outside, you open the inside, you lock that, you go to the outside, you open that.
Well,
When
that's
you're done.
but in 0G. The reason why is we still have momentum moving us forward, and so if I simply push, it'll cancel out the momentum, and everything that's sitting in the bottom of the bucket will stop in place and move the opposite direction.
Right.
So I just have to make a little jerky movement with the bucket, and everything will go flying out.
That's true. I just meant if you're just going to literally, pour it and hit the airlock, it's going to shove it out, but it's just going to sit there and float.
No,
You said about something about taking off your grab boots. You want your grab boots on, otherwise you'll go out.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Grab boots
Okay.
on so I can stand there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this reconnaissance.
Okay. So, given the extreme distance between you and the thing that is following, even even if it's a mile back there, it would be such a tiny, insignificant spot you wouldn't be able to pick it up. Even,
Or I?
even with your microscope eyes.
Ah, scheiße. Oh, well, I need to make an upgrade. Okay. I saw nothing, as usual.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you can't see it. It's pretty hard.
Yeah,
Especially if they're
well,
running. Especially if they're running dark.
at least the scheiße is gone, yeah?
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
It's very... I like to do more than one thing at a time. 2 birds, 1 stone. Or 16 birds with 1 stone, I prefer. But, yeah.
Alright, easy there, Professor Impractical.
It's impractical. That is the opposite of me. That is my arch nemesis. Alright, so he will go into his laboratory
Mm-hmm.
sleeping quarters. There's really not even a bed in there. It's just
Stuff.
a bunch of counters and stuff. He's going to try to use his device to see if there's any radio signals that are going by that he can rewind and listen to.
Yep. No, there's no additional signals at this point, and what's her name's not wearing her rig, and so let's see. You finish out the rest of the trip. Feigning changes in the ground. So in other words, because you're carrying this weight, you can actually do a second rotation if you want to around the cargo because it's so much larger than you are, and in doing so, get enough of a read to definitely tell there is something. This cargo towards Io, they've got their own receptors that'll pick it up there and take it to their Vader. And then you guys were headed back for Ganymede, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought our base was on Io.
Let's scratch that.
Maybe that was just mine.
No.
Okay, so we're dropping off at Ganymede and...
Dropping
Going-
off at Io
Yeah.
and returning to Ganymede.
Okay.
No,
No, the other way around.
dropping off at Ganymede, heading to Io.
Okay.
Yeah, Io's the seat of the Belter government.
Decent as possible, especially for the paying guests.
Well, it's pretty funny because the news feeds are just jammed full of video of Hercules assaulted or Atlas assaulted. Basically, the images of
Funniness of the bam, 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 and he put it to music and uploaded it onto the interwebs.
nice.
And then look at him. It's a funny Fifi. You just see him slamming into the big robot over and over
Yeah,
again.
this Fifi Rodriguez, this monstrously large male individual, is being interviewed and saying how horrible it is that people are making fun of him now. His choice to identity.
Smooth move, Professor Impractical.
My smooth move! You are the one that has ruined Fifi's life! You should be ashamed of yourself, making fun of Fifi.
But you're the one that made that video.
Of you?
Give me a break, guys. I don't need this going on.
He's gonna hide it.
In there. Cat-
No, that's the point. He's gonna hide it in the room, and the cat's gonna go looking for it, tearing up everything.
There we go. There you go. All right. So Mallory says, "Well, we obviously need to move the artifact and the tome to a safe location. Do you guys have people that you're particularly sympathetic with that would be able to hide this?"
Book Among Many is very safe, yeah?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
What about the other thing?
So-
Side of that case.
well,
I've watched the lives of other people facing things that come out of like fairy tale books or nightmares. So what gives with that?
Maybe you should have seen the doctor when we hit the
Oh no,
station.
no, I told you that psychometry is my strong gift. And so when I touch things, I can
it says, "Well, we
read-
need to get to a safe spot because there won't be any cameras. The rights to privacy, even in space, still apply to private space. So, Let's.
Oh, Miss Mal. He seemed very eager to be on our ship.
Where is
He's
he?
quarantined in his cabin.
He's been aboard this whole time.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
very disgusting.
Yeah. Let's get him.
In his cabin, I assure you that once the doors are sealed, there's little bleed through of sound.
So he's not to be trusted, as I surmised, yeah.
Not only that, that's not exactly true,
Of
Titania.
his cabin, I
But-
think it's
The rooms have to be soundproofed. Or
Yeah.
air-proofed. And so sound travels through air, so it would be difficult for sound to pass through. But doesn't mean it's not impossible.
True. But
He's probably dead.
oh, I've provided him meals every day, and I take away his plates.
Has he finished his breakfast for today?
no, the issue is that the food's been disappearing. But so now that we've
I'll go in and check on him.
docked, you probably want to get him off board anyway. And he
Yeah, he just wanted to get to Io, so
so when you go to open,
Could we do a drop-off of him?
jettison him the same way? No. So as you
yeah, she uses her suit to go in. Slaps down the helmet. She didn't trust him, and I don't know if I trust that doctor. He might have just paid her to give him some medication and go.
oh yeah, but when you open the cabin, because you kept him sequestered,
Mhm.
I had forgotten that you had done that. Yeah, he's gasping. He's laying on the ground, bloated. His eyes are unblinking. There's a almost looks like the shininess of cataracts on his eyes. There's a black material coming out of his nose in the corner of his mouth. Buboes all over his body.
Wasn't he supposed to be in the exosuit as well?
Yeah. She shuts the door.
The life half 104.
Do we have
So-
any sort of med unit on board?
He's got piles of meds laying all over it. He's obviously opened a bunch of bottles, and there's pills laying all over. He's taken whatever he could find.
If I may, you have the diet. It's very gross.
It may be very gross, but I let her show up with him. Whatever condition
Then
he's in.
contact the system and have them prepare.
This-
Professor is also now in his suit
Yeah, he's like climbing into it. as he's
with
talking.
the helmet locked in.
She says everybody in helmet.
With the helmet.
Okay. Cat. Oh, trying to get a cat into a helmet, that'll be fun. That's it. You're going to end up
We have an
arm you as your. As
That's why I added the extra brass plating onto mine.
Was
COVID.
COVID. Okay. She radios into her on Earth Station, who had booked passage to Io.
Was that spin station north or south?
I'm not sure. He just said
No,
You
no.
needed
Which
to get-
you?
Where do we go? Spin station south.
Okay. I'm looking at the manifest. I don't see anything that authorizes any transit for anybody by the name of COVID.
Medical
Oh,
evac
yeah,
immediately.
we'll definitely take care of that. But just clarifying, we don't show anything for that. So you might be looking at manifest fraud at the if we find you're involved, and if not, somebody definitely.
Yeah, I haven't seen any symptoms like that, and I have nothing to deal with it.
All right. We'll
He had
definitely,
medicines with him, but it looked like he's taken everything he had.
Say clearly didn't work.
all right. Let's see what we can do.
The
Go-
professor is going to
They put
go
you-
through his.
They put you in the outposts farthest away gate location and move the other vessels away from you, so that you're out there literally by yourself at the end of the arm of the station.
Symptoms to something known.
Yep, and it brings up all the data on the plague wars of the mid 21st century, and that was part of what led to the first missions through Project Whitehorse to get to space, because people didn't want to stay on the world when there were these bugs that now were being engineered.
Great, great. So, he's going to inform the quarantine people that this looks like the symptoms of a plague war.
One of the plague war remnants.
Yeah.
They say, Roger, we can't take
She
care
will
of that.
go ahead and let's see how she can do it. Yeah,
Alrighty. So as they take him off board, it does. Well, actually, as they're preparing to take him off board, Mal says, "You realize this is going to draw a lot of scrutiny to your vessel. I recommend that
go ahead.
You can hide it in my private quarters here on IO.
Okay, so she asks for access.
He's going to link up, so not his laboratory and not his secondary, more secret laboratory.
Right. As a matter of fact, I can actually see that on the manifest. On the actual screen, it says access library, access not allowed, access not allowed, and the bottom one says access super secret laboratory.
Triple secret, undercover, he didn't even name it laboratory.
Yeah.
By that he means his personal bathroom. That
I hope
no one's allowed
give
in.
her access to the facilities as well.
What facilities?
The facilities of the facilities.
How do you know about the facilities?
But it's only accessible through the super secret lab, so you have to give her that on accident.
Just the first super secret lab.
Okay.
And we will end at that because it's 4 o'clock, and we will take up our next story whenever that happens. But thank you for getting us back to Io with the.
Meine Gott, this is no good.
Alrighty, you guys have a great afternoon.
Bye bye.